Huset's Hustle feature. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your starting lineup. Starting 24th.
That guy's voice kills me. I'm tired of listening to him.
Vulcan's Brothers Trucking, Bloody Motorsports, IDSP, car number 6K, Caleb Johnson. In the
9:22. So I got to clog back in by 10:22. I still got a good 15 minutes.
And in the fifth starting position from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, driving car number 39M, the Whitecap JNS Classic C&D rigging, Randy Shearer heating and
wonder what they decided.
It's Anthony Macri.
What?
The defending
I don't know.
the current series points
One called the other one, and I don't know what they decided. They didn't put it in that chat if he was going out there to look at it or what he's going to do. So whenever I get done eating, I'm going to have to call the other guy and say, after it's over, I got to find out what are we doing with this.
From Pengrove, California, the Toyota Racing Development Mobile One, Roth Motorsports, Roth Enterprises,
he's the
Livestock
youngest one.
number 83,
Who?
Buddy Kofoid.
No, he's been around a while. He raced midgets for quite a bit.
Larson!
From Elk Grove, California, driving the Finley Farms, Vulcan's Brothers Trucking, Flow Racing, JVI Group, Roto-Rooter number 57, Kyle Larson. And on the pole this evening, the Alaskan native, now living in Heartland, Wisconsin, driving the Andersons Pure Maple Syrup, Honest Abe Roofing, Wayne Carini CPA, Zerbo Concrete number 17B, the North Pole Nightmare, Bill Baylor!
Baylor!
24 cars. Sean, we talked about this last night with this format.
Here they all come.
Starters, you earn your way into a chance for $100 grand. 24 cars, however, at Huset Speedway, measuring less than a third of a mile. Plenty of cars.
That Larson's down there coming.
In distance here this evening, just like almost always
kind of look like the top of it.
Lap traffic is going to be a huge factor in tonight's feature event.
Sure is.
Going for 100.
Once that leader catches the back ones, it's going to be messy.
Start to have to make some serious business decisions within
it was messy last night when Larson was going through them. Ooh, some close calls.
As far as the track prep is concerned, and they've touched it up a little bit, should be fine for 40 laps this evening.
I would agree. Complete rework. The bottom is really greasy right now, so it's going to take a little bit for this racetrack to blow off. It's going to take a little bit for it to come in. I would say around laps 10 to 15 is whenever you're going to start to see guys get aggressive. And
I don't see they didn't have to. I don't think they had to scrape the wall tonight. I don't know. They might have. I see a little lines. They might have scraped it a little.
And he starts way deep, so nobody up front led laps last night and really had to race in traffic. Larson had clean air for the most part. The one or two
that's a tiller there, boy.
Seemed to do so okay. Buddy Kofoid caught my eye last night racing in traffic, snuck onto the podium towards the end of the race. Keep an eye on the 83 here tonight.
Good stuff, Connor. And again, David Gravel racing in front of the boss here this evening, because the man who owns the race team also just happens to own the Huset Speedway. I don't think David is really feeling any additional pressure, however, because at this level of the sport and what he's done over the last couple of years, I think the pressure is all.
Oh, that reminds me, boosted the sign out. He left it 10.
I would very much agree. You know, I asked him after the heat race interview, I tried to get in his head a little bit and say, you know, what's inside your head? What are you feeling? I was hoping he would tell me some nerves, but he was pretty much just like, oh, you know, want to win some money, but you know, other than that, it's nothing. And then proceeds to talk about
Reginald is the only one on tonight.
Like in that particular heat. That just tells you how focused David Gravel is. He's really not in his own head.
He's had a bunch. All them red ones are him.
And my confidence and focus David Gravel has been proven to be really dangerous over the last year and a half in sprint car racing. So we know David wants to win $100,000. He really wants to win $350,000 this week and make his mark and prove to everybody that he is.
He ain't liking it.
Sprint car races whenever you go and beat the Outlaws, but when 50 plus, almost 60 of the best drivers in the country are here, you want to continue to prove that. So that's what David's trying to do right here. Should have a great opportunity to win from fourth.
Connor, it's not very often we talk about a five-time World of Outlaws champion as being kind of a sleeper, but that's exactly what's happened over the course of the first couple of nights here at the Huset Speedway. Brad Sweet kind of hung around toward the front of the field last night, did what he had to do to start up front in a heat race this evening, and right now coming from the outside of row number 3.
That's right, and we know Brad to be kind of a conservative guy. He's not going to race super hard early on in a night, early on in a race. He'll take a second or third if he rolls the car in the trailer.
That does not look like the guy that has that voice, though,
I would expect a little bit more of aggression out of the Big Cat here late in this one. Maybe not as much as we would see come Saturday night, but we know the 49 has been in big races before. He's been in situations like this. He knows how to rise to the occasion. 2 six-figure ping wins in his career, Knoxville and Eldora both. He would love to add Huset's
last night it took him
so look for the
at least three tries to get the first lap done, because there was 3 wrecks right in a row. And one of them, 3 of them were upside down. All 3 cars.
I think the 49 will turn it up a notch and try to get the win.
Sean Niestedt, we were scheduled for 4 nights of action here in June of last year. We only got the first night in before weather caused everything else to be postponed. But the man who got the victory on that opening night starts on the outside of row number 4.
That's Tyler Courtney in the NOS Energy Drink car number 7 BC. And much like you just talked about with Brad Sweet kind of being a sleeper here this weekend, Tyler Courtney is in a really good spot starting outside of the 4th row. We have tremendous competition here this week, but we've seen drivers come from deeper in the field this season in weekly competition here at Huset Speedway, including Caleb Johnson getting the victory on our season opener from row number 5.
So 1 hour is really
drivers
quick.
outside of those front 3 rows not
Seems
out
like
of the
short.
mix here tonight. That
1
does
hour?
include
Your
Sunshine
1
starting
hour.
outside the 4th row.
I
And then
logged
John,
out
look
at
the
10.
drivers right behind them. Giovanni
9:22.
Celsi will start outside the 5th row.
So I go back at
Connor
10:22.
Wade kind of talked about it earlier tonight. It feels like that team is starting to move
I got
in the
Peterborough.
right direction.
You're
They're going to
ruining
start
my
right there on the edge of the top 10. If they can move forward some positions, get a top 5 here this evening, I think that all adds up to a bunch of momentum going into the rest of our racing week here.
Yeah, and again, it's so strange to talk about a race paying $100,000 to the winner as maybe for some drivers a test and tune for a chance at $250,000 here on Saturday evening. And Connor Wade, Hunter Schoenberg as a Rookie of the Year contender with the World of Outlaws has had a fairly quiet 2025, but a good opportunity for him starting in the 9th spot tonight.
Most definitely. Schoenberg's always gotten around Huset's pretty good, a limited amount of races here, but a pretty good average finish, has cracked into some top 5s and some top 10s over the years. So a great opportunity for him and the Premier team to show what they have. They show signs of greatness. You think in Ohio, a couple of top 10s inside the top 5 at a time. At the first time we had seen Schoenberg in the top 5 with the Outlaws in a long time. When they're on, they've got some speed, and I think they can race in the top 5 with the Outlaws on a consistent basis. It's just whenever they're off, they really seem to struggle to sometimes even make the top 15. So signs seem to be pointing in the right direction for the 55 team, and it'd be a big confidence booster here in the month of June, going into the months of money, if Schoenberg could come out with a good run here at Huset's.
We look a little deeper in the field of drivers that could work their way forward at the end of 40 laps, and I'm looking at the outside of rows 7, 8, and 9. Carson Macedo starting 14th, Rico Abreu in the 16th spot, and Tanner Thorson coming from 18.
I expect Carson Macedo to be, on the chart from the drop of the green. He doesn't have to worry about points. Right now he and Copeland are kind of battling for second points. No points on the table this week at all. He can be aggressive, and he knows, kind of like what Sean was talking about with Baylog earlier. If Carson jumps this thing trying to win $100,000, they're going to roll a backup car out tomorrow that's going to be just as good as the car they've got tonight, the primary car. So I think Carson's going to be aggressive. Wouldn't shock me if he's able to mix his way in at the end. And Tanner Thorson, hard charger last night. This would be huge for him.
Sean Niestedt, the man on the inside of row number 12, Aaron Reitzel, so successful last season, back on national tour in 2025, and coming from the 23rd starting spot, I think there's an opportunity for maybe a potential KSE Hard Charger Award winner.
Certainly the case for him, a 3-time winner here at Huset Speedway, including an Outlaws victory back here in 2021. Reitzel will start 23rd here this evening. Fulkins Brothers Trucking, long been on the side of the wings of cars driven by Aaron Reitzel. And if you don't know what Fulkins Evans Brothers Trucking is. It's a trucking company located just about 10 miles away from here at Huset Speedway. The team right now for Aaron Reitzel, they are based out of that shop here this week. So we talked about home cooking for David Gravel. Not exactly home, but a home away from home here in the Brandon area for Aaron Reitzel.
Connor, as we look at the back of this field, and we talked about how quickly traffic comes into play at the Huset Speedway, when the leaders catch the back, there's a good chance that they'll be coming in on some really, really good sprint cars.
They're going to be coming in on, battles for position in themselves. This race has a heavy purse. It pays pretty good all throughout the field. So, there's a pretty good chunk of cash difference between 15th and 20th. So, if you're running 20th, yeah, you're going to be racing dice hard for 18th, 19th, whatever the case may be, whatever you have the opportunity to do. So, if we see traffic early on, there's a good chance you might run into, Terry Madsen, who's been pretty fast lately, Ryan Timms, who's got a couple of Huset's wins this season, Sheldon Hunshield come from the tail, Christopher Bell, and NASCAR drivers. So there's some loaded talent deep in this field, and it's going to make traffic even harder for the leaders and even more interesting to watch.
So again, 40 laps around the Huset Speedway for that $100,000 top prize. Storylines abound as we get
Need some hair grower.
momentarily, and again,
Need a toupee.
to see so many people here in the grandstands at Huset Speedway to take it
Like
all
I
in
just shaved it
as
off.
the engines now come to life for the Huset's hustle.
Bale. Not tonight. Bale's just not. I think he'll finish in the top 10. Maybe somewhere between 6 and 8. If things go right for him, he could make it. Sounds like danger zone to me.
No, like a highway?
Yeah, highway to the danger zone. When to go and when not to go. There's going to be some wrecks for sure. It's the last ticket he did, 10 o'clock. I'm not sure what he's doing right now.
As we saw following the previous track prep session, drivers given some laps at speed, and they're asked now to switch lanes.
Nothing in there.
before we
That's a
do another
good
couple
sign.
quick green flag condition laps.
He's just now starting those ones. He knows I'm fixing to be back. He's probably going to start doing stuff now.
A look at the winning 50-50 ticket up on the big board. Right now, $3,000. The winning ticket is yellow 029662. 029662. You have won $3,000. We thank you for your support of the Brandon Valley Ice Cats. You can claim your prize right now at the shophusets.com merchandise stand on the Midway. Yellow ticket 029662.
24 drivers now begin to line up behind the Toyota Pace truck and the Huset Speedway Pace vehicle. The anticipation continues to build moments away from the green flag for a six-figure payday.
All right, get up there, Larson. Get up next to that maniac that's up there.
Drivers make their way into corner number 4 and get the signal to show you the most awesome sight in all of motorsports.
Would come on just as I'm fixing to get going. Just as this coming on.
wide.
24 of the best in all of sprint car racing. 4 wide as a way of saying thank you to everybody here this evening. Fireworks light up the sky. We want you to light up your cell phones and stand up and make some noise. Huset Speedway, you wanted the best. You got them 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars.
He's dramatic now. Even now I'm clapping.
We'll wave the green flag on the Huset's hustle. The next time out of corner number 4, Bill Baylog, Kyle Larson in row 1, Buddy Kofoid, David Gravel in row 2, Anthony Macri, Brad Sweet in row 3, Donnie Schatz, Tyler Courtney in row 4, Hunter Schurenberg, Giovanni Selzy in row 5, Spencer Baston, Tim Kading, Brian Brown, Carson Macedo, Chase Randall, Rico Abreu, Christopher Bell, Tanner Thorson, Ashton Torgerson, Ryan Tim, Sheldon Hodgson, Kerry Madsen, Aaron Reitzel, and Caleb Johnson.
Pace trucks to the infield, 40 laps on the board, $100,000 at stake. Huset's hustle
$100,000
goes
every race.
green.
Perfect time, man. I have to log in just as I'm here.
Bill Baylog leading into corner number 1. Kyle Larson in second. Challenge.
Oh.
Whoa!
Side by
They
side
touch!
between Gravel and Sweet behind those two.
Hey.
They will race off of turn number 4. Bill Baylog leads the opening lap, still side by side for a second as Kofoid tries to get to the inside of
Larson ain't getting it going yet.
Successfully at the exit of turn 2, move the 83 to the second spot.
Donnie Schatz battling with Hunter Schurenberg and Tyler Courtney as they race out of corner number 4. That is a race for 7th. Schatz has it now as they reach turns 1 and 2. Schurenberg jumps up to the top of the racetrack.
Schurenberg, one of the first cars on the Speedway, working a higher line early on in this feature event that the track did see a big rework right before the green flag. Buddy Kofoid trying to keep pace with your leader, the 17B of Bill Baylog.
Larson's running slow right
Sleepy
now.
already.
Way to a 6-figure payday with 4 laps down. Bill Baylog leading Buddy Kofoid by 9/10 of a second, and then
Long
nearly a
race, though.
straightaway back to the 3rd place machine of Kyle Larson.
You gotta wonder if some of those drivers a little deeper in the top of the order, kind of setting a pace right now. Kyle Larson's so good at that, setting a pace and then coming to life in the final stages.
Knows how to time it out for your tires and everything you need.
A lot on the line. David Gravel closing in though on Larson. Race for 3rd off of turn 4.
David Gravel looked to the outside, couldn't take the spot there. He'll dive down to the bottom.
I don't know if Larson wants to stay in 3rd right now. If he does, he'll speed it up a little.
3rd spot as the leaders catch the back of the field in turn 1. Gravel once again with a run on Larson out of turn 4. This time he's got the spot.
He's got the position,
Hey.
does David Gravel into 3rd.
I don't think
place,
Larson's
a full
pushing it
straightaway
yet.
line. 2nd place running Buddy Kofoid. Bill Baylog in lap traffic continues to show the way, 8/10 of a second in front of the Roth Enterprises.
His car stinks.
Brad Sweet now the next to challenge Young Money. The big cat tries around
Oh my
the top
gosh,
of the
what's
speedway
wrong
in
with
turns
Kyle?
1 and 2. Brad Sweet by Kyle Larson.
I know, but he's going to have to get it going sooner or later.
Bill Baylog right now going to have to make some tough
Going
decisions
backwards.
here as he's got
Dang.
lap traffic all around the Speedway. He's almost cocooned as he makes his way down the front stretch and into turn number 1. Baylog will dive to the bottom. Buddy Kofoid sees an opening as he closes.
There's going to be a caution somewhere here. As soon as he start getting up in there, that's going to be a caution.
Battle for the lead as they go to turn number 1. Baylog up top, Kofoid on the bottom, nearly side by side as they race back to turn number 3. Baylog will get to the bottom.
Oh, over the curb.
Kofoid does so successfully as we go to 28 laps remaining.
Kofoid puts the left front tire up on the inside berm, trying to keep pace with the 10-time IRA
Dang, Reitzel stinks tonight.
So successfully in quarter number 4.
That successful pass doesn't have a lot to celebrate for Baylog because in front of him, Brian Brown and Caleb Johnson are battling side by side for position. Coming up on the 1A of Ashton Torgerson.
Kofoid's better right now.
Buddy Kofoid captures it as they go to turn 1.
Kofoid, the leader on lap 14. Baylog trying to sail back around him on the outside. They're wheel to wheel into turn number 3. Bill Baylog trying to get the lead back from Buddy Kofoid, and he
They're gonna go
wheels as
red.
they cross the line on lap 15.
By a slim margin,
Oh!
Baylog back out.
Baylog will cut you.
It's gonna be aggressive
Car
for
number
sure.
17B. They approach the 21 of Brian Brown. We go to 24 laps remaining for 100 large here at Huset.
All right. It's about time to get going now. I'm surprised there ain't a caution yet.
In front on lap 14. Kofoid staying right with Baylog, who tries to make his way to the inside of Brian Brown. Puts Blackjack a lap down. Here's Kofoid again to the inside. He's
Oh, dang.
As they battle for the race lead, David Gravel has come to life. The BillionAuto.com car number 2 was more than a straightaway behind. He's within striking distance nearly as we're side by side again for
Boy,
the race
he
lead.
almost hit him.
Baylog holds on as they go into turn number 3. They'll come around and go to 21 laps to go.
Bill Baylog leading Buddy
Come on,
Kofoid,
Larson.
David Gravel,
Yeah, he ain't
Brad
making no
Sweet, and
move
Kyle
yet.
Larson, the top 5. This
They need a
time
caution.
crossed flags to the race leader, Bill Baylog, out in front of the halfway point of the Houston
Really
Hustle.
surprised ain't nobody
For
wrecked.
Baylog right now over Buddy Kofoid.
Sure wasn't like this last night.
6/10 of a second. Kofoid closes in at the exit of turn number 2. David Gravel trying to
Go
close
and
in at the
see
top
it.
2 as well. Side by side for the lead. No luck on the slide job attempt from Kofoid. Baylog leads him back into 1.
Bill Baylog showing the way.
He's
out
barely
of
staying
turn
ahead.
two. Buddy Kofoid is right there, and now no traffic between.
There
Kofoid
comes
and
Larson.
third place running David Gravel.
18 circuits of Huset Speedway remain.
Yep, there we go. Up to 4th.
The biggest win of his
Time to go.
career, but Buddy Kofoid
He saved what he had.
continues to stalk him as they come off of turn number 4. Kofoid again down on the bottom of the speedway. Baylog back to the top.
Good racing for the 4th through 6th positions. Kyle Larson going at it with Sunshine Tyler Courtney, Brad Sweet
Dang
as well.
Dang,
Pointing to
lost
the
that
inside
one.
of Larson now. Move the 7BC.
He's
up to
coming,
the
though.
spot.
Starting to see some big
Let's
slide
see.
jobs taking place in turn number 2
There
as
you
the
go.
track slicks off as we say that. There goes the 57.
Just can't quite get a grip.
Of Courtney. Courtney reclaims the 4th spot.
Little bit of a gap to the next set of cars for the leaders to contend with, and that allows David Gravel to move even closer to Bill Baylog and Buddy
Gotta
Kofoid.
get back Courtney,
26
man.
of 40 laps complete in the Houston Hustle. Here's Kofoid to the inside, no room for a slider there, and now
I don't know.
Baylog to get
We're running out of
closer
time,
to
really.
Enterprises number 83.
Top 3 bunching up. The lap traffic also migrating to the high side of the speedway with big bombs of slide jobs throughout the field in turn 2. Bill Baylog sees that right in front of him as the 6K of Caleb Johnson and 1A of Ashton Torgerson battle for position. Baylog's got to go. Kofoid is right there, and here comes Gravel 2.
Baylog to the inside in turn 1, drives up the racetrack. Kofoid gets the wire at the bottom, and now Buddy Kofoid.
Come on, show Larson.
Once again.
Slide job to the top of the speedway. Buddy Kofoid off of turn number 4, and he will lead once again at lap number 29. It's Buddy Kofoid, Bill Baylog, David Gravel, the top 3, and then a small break back to Tyler Courtney and Kyle Larson to complete the top 5.
Buddy Kofoid now pulling away from second place Bill Baylog with 10 laps to go in the Houston's Hustle. Traffic right in front of the 83 once again as Baylog continues to try to close in, and David Gravel attempts to get closer to those two with a big-time slider on Ashton Torgerson.
He will clear the 1A, and now no lap traffic separating the top 3 drivers. Buddy Kofoid trying to get by the 6K of Caleb Johnson. Dives to the bottom in turn number 3. Cannot complete the slider. Cuts his momentum. Bill Baylog with a run closes back in as they race to turn 1.
Baylog on the top, as is leader Buddy Kofoid. David Gravel there. Tyler Courtney starting to get a little bit closer to Gravel with Kyle Larson behind him. We've got 7 laps to go at Houston's.
Dirty air, a major factor right
Dang.
now on the top side of the speedway where the drivers want to be
Larson will
putting
be
the right
big.
rear tire right
Yeah,
on the
he ain't
pusher,
gonna
which
make
is
it.
right next to
Not
the big
tonight.
concrete wall. Kofoid's going to dive to the bottom. He'll try to throw the slide job to get by Caleb Johnson. Can't do it. An opportunity for Bill Baylog to
See,
close in.
Kofoid took the lead, though. Kofoid.
Trying to capitalize as they race through 3 and 4.
Dang, no caution?
I know, I'm shocked. I mean, really.
We have 5 laps remaining in the Houston's Hustle.
Wow, no caution. Unbelievable again.
I don't even know what to say about that, really.
Wow,
Caleb
nice.
Johnson, the answer is no. Baylog again cushion. David Gravel's got a run on him.
David Gravel with the wing in the trunk on the Big Game Motorsports number 2. Rides the cushion through turns 3 and 4. There are 37 laps down. Buddy Copeland leads it. Bill Paylog second. David Gravel in third. And now a big-time slider from Kyle Larson to take the 4th spot away from Tyler Courtney.
Courtney trying to fend off the 49 of Brad Sweet as we go.
I think his car's just now starting to go.
Laps remaining here at Huset Speedway. Buddy Copeland closing in again on the traffic. Does Bill Paylog have anything left in the tank? We'll find out as we come to the white flag.
One more lap at Huset Speedway.
Yeah, Cofoyd's got it. Unless there's a caution.
Right behind Johnson, can't make the move. Now dives to the inside. Bill Paylog will try to top in turns 3 and 4. Slider from Larson.
Gosh, cannot believe it. Cofoyd.
Buddy Copeland wins.
See, Larson was right there.
Third!
Told you his car was starting to go, but it was too late. If there'd have been some cautions, then he would have had it. He would have came back.
Darn.
Yeah. But this is about a points. Well, the trouble is he ain't racing the next 2
it's not
nights,
a
so
regular,
it ain't helping him none.
No.
40 laps of non-stop green
Dang.
flag action. Unofficially, the top
No
10 looks
caution
like this. Buddy Copeland with the win.
whatsoever.
Bill second, Kyle Larson
Wow.
third, David Gravel fourth, Tyler Courtney fifth, Brad Sweet sixth, Hunter Schurenberg seventh, Donnie Schatz eighth, Anthony Macri ninth, and Rico Abreu in 10th.
I would like to
He's
watch,
actually leading the points now.
I
for
would
the last 2
I would like
nights.
to watch the last night race.
Including
I want to
the
see
laps
Larson
to work in
winning.
the racetrack.
Yeah, that's much funner when he's winning.
First engine fired until the time the checkered flag waved, 16 minutes.
Non-stop action tonight in the finale of the Huset's Hustle, and there was
Gosh.
action abound. Buddy Cofoyd leading 2 different segments of this
Bummer.
feature event. He has
Not
cleared the
really
scales.
exciting with no
It is
caution.
official. Buddy Cofoyd wins the Huset's Hustle and rolls into Seafoam victory lane.
Pinocchio.
Babe!
What? I was just thinking of that movie. Pinocchio.
That is a very happy and relieved race car driver in the cockpit of the Roth Enterprises number 83.
Oh, he's crying.
Get over it.
Buddy Cofoyd climbs from the
I
cockpit,
guess he's the youngest.
takes the head and
Driver.
neck restraint system off. You'll get the Hoosier Tire neck band, the NOS Energy Drink Victory Lane hat.
So what happened to Bell?
Well, that's what I'm saying. His car was good at all.
And he'll take the VP Fuels checkered flag up top to celebrate a 6-figure payday again at Huset Speedway. Full wing dance in effect for this one for Buddy Cofoyd.
They're
Huge
gonna
payday for
race
the
again
North
Saturday?
And rounding
Larson's
out the
not.
podium with a big move on the last lap, Kyle Larson here this
There we
evening.
go.
Kyle, I think that slider on the last corner to David came from Pocono. What goes through your mind when you throw a slide job to get onto the podium in such an incredible manner?
It really wasn't from that far back. I got a good round off of 2.
Everybody's been making fun of his haircut on
But yeah, the
Facebook.
lapper, I think,
It
was in
looks
front of me, so
good.
It
it
looks
was probably tighter
awful.
than
Why?
it could have
It
been,
looks
but,
good on him.
Yeah,
No,
just
it
went way
don't.
too long, not very good,
Looks
and fell back to like 6th. And
Like Forrest Gump.
really wasn't until about 8
It's
seconds the car
okay.
finally took off, and
Yeah, he needs
we could
to
start,
no
going forward. So
do something else.
yeah, this was a bummer of a race there. I was hoping for
I like it that
caution
way.
at some point.
Mm.
I don't know if it would have helped me or hurt me, but I was just hopeful of something. But yeah, I mean, it's probably good that it didn't go yellow, because I think the track would have really latched up there by the end of it. So yeah, I mean, glad to rebound to a third, but just disappointed in having the good track position to start and just fading and then having to work too hard. So yeah, we'll
Guess he wasn't saving it.
we'll jot it down in the notebook and hopefully be better whenever we come back.
Enjoyed having you here the last 2 nights. Good luck this weekend. Kyle Larson on the podium. That will wrap up his week here at Huset Speedway.
Thank you, Connor Wade. Here is the full field rundown. Buddy Copeland with the win in the 83, second the 17B of Bill Baylog, third to the 57 of Kyle Larson, in fourth car number 2, David
Oh,
Gravel.
the mama, I
Fifth,
guess.
the 7BC of
Probably.
Tyler Courtney, sixth went car number
Well,
49,
I gotta make a
Brad
phone call.
Sweet.
And the
Seventh
dad.
was the 55 of Hunter
Whatever.
Schurenberg.